Hello, I am Eric Odom, co-host of the Invest Florida Real Estate Podcast Show. My friends have always told me that I have a great face for radio, which is why I stay behind or not in front of the camera in the podcast. We spend a little bit more time just doing the radio talk. But you guys are lucky. I guess today you really get to see me in person, and we're going to talk a little bit about the podcast. One of the biggest questions that we actually end up getting from the show regularly is why podcast? What's Stitcher? What's iTunes? What is this thing you guys keep talking about? Well, podcasting is great because it allows the mobility of the user to be able to go mobile. And you can listen to it in your car, on the beach, when you're jogging, and you can also get this to go. I mean, if you're going to listen to it on the desktop, it's fine, but you're missing a significant portion of what makes podcasting great. So Steve and I are going to spend a little bit of time about how you can get Stitcher and iTunes ramped up, whether you're on an Apple or on an Android, and then you can download the podcast and get it whenever you want, however you want, and automatically download. So stick with us, and then we're going to come right back and talk to you a little bit more about how to do this and the instructions. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, well, welcome back. This is Eric Odom, co-host with the Invest Florida Real Estate Podcast with my partner and co-host, Steven Silverman. Steven, today we're going to talk a little bit about how to make podcasts mobile, but why do people even care about podcasts?
Eric, podcasting is a technology that's arrived. It's a method to get information when you want, how you want, and it's very convenient.
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of makes you mobile. And it's great to be able to sit down and listen to it at a desktop, which is, I know a lot of people are using that technology, but I think you're only capturing a small portion of the benefit of podcast. As soon as you make it go mobile, you can play it in your car, when you're jogging, at the gym. There's any number of ways you can listen to it when you're out walking around or whatever. There's two major platforms, right?
Yes, people are either going to go on their portable devices, they'll listen either on Apple or they'll listen on Android devices.
Yeah, there's Microsoft too, but they have such a small portion of the market. We'll focus just on Apple and Android. So let's just go ahead and roll into this is Android. I don't know who that ugly looking guy there is in the back smoking the cigar, but that is the good looking guy is not me. He's got this army suit on here, but that's not me. I'm the other guy. But most people will have this. This is my own personal screen, so you can kind of see. The first thing we're going to do is click on the Play Store. And this is, all Androids have this. This is where you acquire your applications and whatnot. And when you're in the Play Store, you're going to see this, the first thing you're going to see, and then there's a search button up here. So we're going to go ahead and click on here. We're going to find Stitcher, because Stitcher is the dominant podcasting application on Android. There's a lot of others. I don't want to be prejudiced. If y'all want to go look at some of these others that are out there, Crow's Nest or whatever, there's tons of them that you can use. But Stitcher's the dominant one, so we're just going to cover Stitcher. And I've already opened or downloaded this, so typically you would see an install button. Mine's open because I've already installed it, but it's, typically after you click down on that Stitcher, you're going to see an install button. So go ahead and push install, and then you can open it. It's going to give you the option of opening it. And when you open it, if you haven't opened an account yet, you're going to need to have an account. And I chose to open mine with an email account, but the easiest thing to do is just link it to your Facebook if you already have a Facebook, and then you don't have to open another account and manage another set of passwords and login IDs. I've already set up a number of shows, but I'm going to try to show you how to find ours. Essentially, Invest Florida show. This is the first thing you're going to see after you log in, and it gives you the option to search. And we type in Invest Florida, and of course, here comes the Invest Florida show. It pops up. Now, I've put in red arrow here 2 ways you can acquire this. The best way really is just to click here on this little cross or plus sign, because that's going to add it to your favorites list. But if you only want to listen to an episode, or you want to save an episode that you like it and you want to come and listen to it months down the road and you don't want to have to search for it, you can click listen later and it will go ahead and save it for you at a later date. Now, I've opened, and I'm a prolific podcast listener. This year I saw alone that I've listened to over 500 hours of podcasts coming and going from work. Again, it's easy for me because I stream it over my phone. It goes through my Bluetooth, and it replaces my radio. Really, it replaces my radio. So I've got a number of folders that I've set up. Most people are just going to have a favorites list because they're not going to listen to nearly as many as I have. But I'm putting us in a real estate folder, and click that, and then go ahead and save it, and click save, and then we move on, and you'll see after there's this cross turns from white to blue to show that we've actually saved the podcast. Now, if you want to go back and kind of search around, maybe make some adjustments, one thing that is great about podcasts is that you can download. They take a lot of digital information, but you can download it from your Wi-Fi, and you're really going to want to do this and make sure that it's adjusted so you're not blowing through the data on your phone. That's important. If you only have a gigabyte of data that you can use a month, if you're listening to a dozen podcasts, it'll crush your data plan. So you want to make sure that you've got that set up properly to download only when you're on a Wi-Fi. And so here, as with all Android, you see these little three symbols. That's your menu. And when you click on that, I've actually got three things saved here. One is my station, so that's where you're going to go back to find the show later. Of course, if you clicked on a listen later, it archives all of your listen laters there. And they're also going to talk a little bit later about settings, and then making sure you're using it properly to get proper notifications, and also to save on your data plan. This is the first thing you're going to want to do when you click on, like, this is inside of one of my folders. This would be your favorites folder. There's a little space up here that says available offline. This, again, is what saves you from using your data plan to listen to your podcast. Whenever you're by Wi-Fi, it'll automatically download, or you can set it up to do that. So all you do is click the button, and that's it. Now, to head back, you don't want to, or what you're going to want to do is just, hit this arrow back here, and it'll send you back. And again, you would see the option of, how you set this up. Of course, I have notifications on, and I also set it. I don't like to vibrate for notifications because I think that's obnoxious for it every time there's an update for it to be vibrating my phone. But this is in the settings section. It does show you where you can download this and set your offline settings. And that's pretty much it for Android. Stephen, what do you got for us on the Apple iTunes?
Well, let's take a look at the screenshot of an iPhone and see how to get the podcast. First of all, on the newer Apple applications, iTunes is there automatically, but on some of the old ones, you have to download iTunes. So all Apple phones come with the App Store. So first, go to the App Store and then click on the App Store, and you'll come up with the applications that you can purchase or download. Go to the search at the bottom, follow the red arrow, and click on Podcasts. And the podcast screen will come up. You can now go to the middle and click on Open Podcasts. And that is Apple iTunes Famous Podcasts. And they're happy to see you. You'll get a welcome screen. It'll say Welcome to Podcasts. And they'll give you some shows that are trending. Go down to the bottom, follow the red arrow, and click on Invest Florida Show. And the Invest Florida Show will come up and with some of the older episodes. So let's go ahead. So you can click now on the Invest Florida Show, and you can go to Settings. And in the settings, you'll want to tell iTunes how you want to subscribe. So as a default, you will not be subscribed. So go to the subscribe button and turn it click it, and it'll turn to subscribed. Now you are subscribed to iTunes, and that's really the benefit of podcasting, because on a regular basis, when a new show arrives, you will be alerted. It's not a hit or miss basis. So let's carry on now and go to the show.
So that's pretty much it, Stephen. I mean, it's quick, it's simple, but really, if someone's going to listen to podcasts and they find value in not only podcasts, there's a world out there, if you're not using podcasts, of why you would want to listen to them, because your favorite shows, for example, the Sunday morning news shows, anybody who's in real estate investing, Robert Kiyosaki has his podcast. There's a number of podcasts that are out there. Serial, you might have heard about in the news, was the top trending media, I believe, across all sectors, including TV, because it was a crime mystery a story that was running. I guess it just finished this month, but very, very popular. But really, it's replacing terrestrial radio. So many people that once they start using it, you get it what you want, when you want, how you want it.
Without ads.
Without ads. Well, you can. There's ads on there. There's ads on there, but you can. It's not nearly as bad as radio, and it also, you get your favorite shows however you want them, when you want them. For me, I'm a prolific podcast listener.
Well, the important thing about what we're trying to accomplish here, Eric, is that a lot of people are listening to our podcast, but many people aren't that technologically familiar with how to get the best out of that technology. And we hope that you learn something out of this. It's definitely worth understanding how to use podcasts to your benefit and your education.
Absolutely. And besides us, I mean, history shows, sports, all of your CBS Sports and ESPN and on and on and on. There's endless options. But we want us to get started. We want the folks to get started with the Invest Florida show. And if you get comfortable with us there, hopefully you'll surf around and find some other things that you like and then grow your podcast appetite. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, thank you. We hope that you learned something.